Hi, my name is Ranji. This is my Western literature oral presentation. So in this video, I'm going to talk about several important writings from the writers that I like throughout my learning in this course. So firstly, I'm going to talk about some writers I like in the Enlightenment period. So one of the poets I think is very important is Jean Jacques Rousseau, who has a special focus on the education that were discussed during the Unit 1 lecture video 5. On page 256 of the textbook, from his writing of Emile from line 1 to line 3, he said that once he has been shown that men and women are essentially different in character and temperament, it follows that they all not to have the same education. This can definitely reflect how women are being treated differently at the time, especially from a man's point of view, which I think is very important because this can remind us the freedoms of women must be protected. In addition, in the Enlightenment period, there is also the writer Jonathan Swift that was discussed in Unit 1, Lecture Video 7. From his writings of Modest Proposal on third last to second last line of page 342, that a young, healthy child well nursed is a year old and most delicious. So this is something that's said by Jonathan Swift that is sound very surprising to me. But here he's indicating the problem of poverty using this exaggeration here that the children should be eaten. He's proposing a solution here to solve the issue of poverty, which I think the reason why this writing can be very important. Now, I will also discuss some writers in a period of Romanticism. There is a poet of Lord Byron whom I found to be very interesting, especially in the fact that Lord Byron's poem can somehow relate to music that was discussed in Unit 2, Video 4. So from his poem Stanzas for Music on page 745 on line 3, which said that, and like music on the waters, to express the idea of romantics. And from the poems of Lord Byron, he used certain rhymes in the poems of his, which I found to be very interesting. I'm quite surprised and their ideas of music in the writings of the poems as early as in the period of Romanticism. So this is also very similar to the songs that we have today, as we have talked about in the lectures. And also within the period of Romanticism, the poet John Keats that was talked about in Unit 2, Video 6 also has some great ideas behind the poems that he wrote. From his poem Bright Star on page 757, on line 14, and so live ever or else soon to death, he expresses the idea to live in the present, which can be a great lesson even until today. That everyone should consider to value what they have right now because we do not know what will happen in our future. Within his poem, he also expresses the idea of loss, which can also indicate the importance of preserving what we have now, because there's a fact that how things and objects can be lost. And there are also several writers alike within the period of modernism. And for the period of modernism, I think the poet Rainer Maria Rilke's poem that was talked about in Unified Video 4 are very significant within the time. That can also he also considered to be one of the existentialists. Within the poem of his, he also talked about how those objects that he mentioned in the poems can be seen from different perspectives. So can be seen from in some very different ways, as we have talked about in the lectures. So this can be very important idea to taking even for nowadays lives. Hence the reason why I think this is very important, that we should consider things from different point of views, especially the fact that if we encounter a problem that can be very difficult to solve, then we can try to see it or understand it from a different directions. And also in the later period of Romanticism, the poet Chinua Achebe has played a very important role that was discussed in Unit 6, Video 7. From the writing of his from name for Victoria, Queen of England on the 17th, on the seventh last line on page 2392. He said that we live at the crossroads of culture, and there are challenges that still we face even as of today. Since there are different cultures together, there are some people which have bias at another culture, and some people might think that their culture is more superior, as we have discussed in the lecture. So this is very important here to remind everyone the importance of solving this kind of problem. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.